Hello and welcome to the $1 Million Message. This is your Fearless Friday message with Callie DeBlander Brigham, calling from beautiful Pensacola Beach, Florida. And if you're calling on Friday, happy Cinco de Mayo. And if you're calling on Saturday, I hope your horse wins. And if you're calling on Sunday, I hope you have a blessed Sunday. And you will be calling in on Monday, which is my 19th anniversary with my college sweetheart. But you'll hear Crystal then. Are you all not just swooning over the NSC trip pictures? Kristen, it looks like you're having an incredible time. My mom is on the trip. Crystal's mom is on the trip. And I know, of course, Kristen's mom is on the trip. So I'm getting lots of wonderful texts and messages, and it's making me have FOMO. What about you? Well, I wanted to share today, I spoke on the Mary Kay National Area Sales Directors Zoom for the Ruby Division on Monday. And I've had some requests to condense a little bit of what I talked about for all of you today, and that's what I'm going to share. So the topic really was finishing strong, right? Here we are in the final 2 months of the Mary Kay year. And one of the speakers right before me, the incredible Lisa Ann Harmon, talked about some strategy using the game board that Mary Kay has given consultants and directors. And so mine was a little more of the mental and emotional strategy. So here's the condensed version for you, for beauty consultants and sales directors. Mary Kay said herself, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you're right. Well, as we finish these final four, guess what I'm going to envision and ask you to become? A supermodel. Yes, I do want you to strut that seminar stage, right? With your sash, with your bling, with your gorgeous gown. But really, I want you to be a supermodel. I want you to know that what you do in these next couple of months, you model for your family, for your loved ones, for your children. You model for your unit or your team or even your customers. And almost most importantly, you model for your future self. Isn't that interesting? You are modeling now behavior, actions that your future self can either regret or thank you for. Because people, human beings, we're habitual, right? And we are where we are many times by the habits that we create. So how you decide that you're going to take on these next couple of months really is modeling that for your future self. So I have two different groups of women that I'm going to talk to for a few minutes. The first is the group of women that have already moved on into next seminar year mentally. And by that I mean you're just so far from the goal that you maybe set last year, or the dream that you had, or what you just knew for sure was going to happen, and then life happened, and then, whatever. And it's just out of your reach. It just really is. And so you're thinking, I'm just going to coast here for the next couple months. I don't want to put up too much effort because I don't want to, I don't want to have too much go in for this year. So I'm just going to sort of lay low, let whatever happens. And then July 1st, you better watch out because, here I come, right? So I'm going to talk to that group of women. And then I'm going to talk to the group of women that, you can see it, the finish line is there, but, man, you're tired. You're not, you can do it. You know what you're going to finish, but, you're tired. All right, so let's talk about group one. This past Saturday, I went on a bike ride with my family, and the four of us, Braden, Maddie, my husband, and myself. And it will come to no surprise, those of you that know Maddie, that she took the lead. She told us. She's like, I'm leading. Okay. So we go out, and she leads the whole way, and she's living her best life. And then we turn around to come back, and she tells Braden that he is now allowed to lead on the way home, so he can lead now. She grants him that wish. So it's Braden in front, then Maddie, then me, then Josh. And we're biking along, and where I live on Pensacola Beach, it's very flat. It's a barrier island right on the Gulf of Mexico, so it's flat. Except for there's this one hill. Okay, there's one hill on the path that we take. Not just one hill. So as I'm riding and pedaling, and I see the hill coming, I hear Maddie yell out to Braden, speed up now. Speed up now. It makes the hill easier. And I just thought, oh, okay, there it is. There it is, out of the mouth of a 12-year-old. I mean, a truth bomb. Speed up now. It makes the hill easier. What was she doing? It would be very easy to just kind of like barely give it some effort on the straightaway, right? Flat, easy, no big deal. But you see a hill coming. And if you don't speed up, what's going to happen when you get to the base of the hill? You have no momentum. You have no momentum. It is so hard. Have you ever tried from stopping to start pedaling up a hill? I mean, you're probably going to have to get off and walk. Well, so I want to speak to those of you that are thinking, I'm on the straightaway. I'm just going to take it easy. And I just want you to know, now's the time. Now's the time to pedal. Now's the time to speed up. Why? Because guess what happened when we got to the hill? I mean, we zipped right up that thing like it was nothing. I was reminded of a story of one of my consultants, Katie Antonetti. Some of you were around in seminar, 2008. Yeah, 2008. That April prior, Katie made the decision that instead of just being an active beauty consultant, she really needed to amp things up in her business. Now, it would have been easy to say, well, gosh, I'm going to amp things up on July 1st, right? Maybe it was May. Because, I don't want my customers to buy too much now because then they won't buy again in July, right? Or I don't want to add too many team members now because I want it to count next year. No, Katie said, I'm going to start now. I'm going to start now working my business to a whole nother level. Well, by next June 30th, Katie Antonetti had sold that year $115,000, I think, retail, and was the queen of consultant sales at Seminar because of the work that she did in April, May, June of the year prior. So speed up now. It makes the hill easier. Now, the second story is also about Maddie and Braden. They ran their first 5K last year, and we practiced a little bit. I'm a jogger, I'm a runner, but this is kind of new for them. So we went out on a couple test runs, right? We had a couple rules, and I asked them the other day, I was like, do you remember our rules? And Maddie was like, don't walk and don't cry. I was like, yeah, that's it. I mean, you could jog as slow as molasses, but don't walk and don't cry. I was like, yeah, that's right. So Braden, when we the actual day of the race, Braden took off like a speed demon, and he was off and running. And I was keeping pace with Maddie. And I'm telling you, sometimes it sounds easy, like those are the two rules, but I had to remind her of those several times throughout the race. Oh, man. Well, we're finally done. We're finally almost done. I mean, we can kind of hear the music pumping. We know the finish line is there. I'm like encouraging her. Well, I forgot that there was a third rule. And I had taught the kids that at the very end of your run, no matter how tired you are, you always sprint because you always have more in the tank than you think you do. You think, I've run, 3.1, 0.1 miles. I've got 0.05 left to go or whatever. Man, I'm done. I think I'm just going to, just finish. Well, I taught them to sprint because it's a mental game, right? You model for your future self. So we rounding the corner, and there we could see it. And man, I'm just glad for this to be over. And all of a sudden, kicks in rule number 3, and that girl starts sprinting. She starts passing people. I'm like, oh, okay, we're sprinting. I start sprinting too. I start passing people too. And she gets to the end, and I mean, flies through that finish line. There was a gentleman that found us later on the race. He was like, when it was over, she was like, man, I thought I had you beat. And all of a sudden, I see this girl flying through. I was like, that's right. Guess what? Maddie earned first place for her age group for her first 5K because of the sprint at the end. So for those of you that the end is there, you're going to wrap it up, I'm going to encourage you to sprint. So those were my 2 encouragements to these women. Because here's the reality of things. If you don't like what's going on in your business, guess what? Change it. I mean, I know it's not that simple, but it is that simple. Change it. I told them, move. You're not a tree. Change it. If you do like what's going on, then do a whole lot of it and keep your blinders on. I love this phrase, get your orders from headquarters, Cheryl Fulcher, and surrender your day and know that, There's a reason that you have been given the gift that you've been given to do what you're doing right now. So don't look to the right and don't look to the left. But you cannot sprint if you're looking around or you're looking behind. Isn't that right? So I want you to think, if you are not where you want to be, if you're in group 1, I still want you to find a win. I want you to find a win for where you want to be by the end of the seminar year. Even if it's a new win, even if you need to have a state of the unit address, or you need to address your team, or you need to address your clients and say, hey, listen, part of being a good leader is when you say to somebody, we got to move the goalpost back a little bit. You know, we're not going to finish what we said we were going to finish in this timeline, but we're still going to win. So we're moving the goalpost back a little bit this time. And we're going to run through it, and we're going to be victorious because we're going to model for our future selves what a win looks like, what a victory looks like. Now, we can reset the date for the original goal, for next year, but for right now, that's what it's going to look like, okay? And for those of you that are sprinting, what does that look like? What do you need to do to sprint to the end? What do you need to visualize? What do you need to commit yourself to? What do you need? Do you need to buy tickets for your family for seminar? Do you need to buy that dress for seminar? What do you need to do in order to do that? So because my time is up with you guys today, I'll leave it there, and maybe next week I'll talk a little bit about some strategy. But I just want to ask you, what part of your story is getting ready to be told because of what you're going to do these next 2 months? Is it a comeback, a come from behind, an overcomer? Is it a breaking a record, breaking a cycle, breaking belief barriers, breaking bad habits, breaking the status quo? So which one are you in today, and what are you going to do? Are you going to speed up, make the mountain easier, or are you going to sprint to the finish line because you know that you can see it in sight? All right, God bless you. Have a fantastic Friday and weekend, and I will be with you next week. Bye-bye.